Welcome back, everybody. Right, you're watching Cape Rugby TV, and of course, as we promised, Faizel Felton from Western Province Rugby is here, where we do our weekly Western Province Rugby catch-up. Faisal, nice to have you back.
No, good evening, JP. Good evening, listeners. Always good to be back.
Yep, it's now becoming our weekly thing where we've got you on the province catch-up, I suppose. I like it. It's quite catchy. It sounds fun.
No, definitely. I think, again, you can really see the season's about to start, really, it's about to kick off and that there. So, yeah, all excited.
Well, I must say I'm pretty impressed with the fact that the Stormers played at a club venue over the weekend. They played at the Craven Stadium. That was nice for Western Province.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was fantastic. I think it was a great Sunday. People that came out thoroughly enjoyed themselves. It was a fantastic, facility in terms of the view and, stunning views and stuff. So it was an awesome Sunday afternoon, and I think everybody that was there enjoyed it. Plus the result was, it was great.
Yeah. And of course, on the other side, let's get an update quickly. Women's rugby. I know we just took a look now at the highlights from the girls' training, but they're all preparing now, getting ready for the IPL.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think from our side, we're on track in terms of planning and preparation. Some friendlies coming up. It's less than a month away from kickoff. This past weekend, we were out in Stellenbosch. We had a bit of contact sessions with the the 7 Springbok ladies. So it was good to see in terms of what we have, and it was also good to see prior to contact you're a bit wary in terms of what we have and the conditioning and that there. But I must say that our ladies look great. It was good to see them out there, and I think they hunger to start playing and to get out there.
Before we look at the friendly fixtures and results, which we're going to do in a second, let's just talk a little bit about referees. You guys are still campaigning for all clubs to send nominees and candidates to you for a referees course.
No, definitely. Again, thanks. We want to encourage everybody and every single club to basically send us names so that we can start training, that we have these standby referees, that they have, standby guys that are there at the club. And again, it also assists and helps the clubs when it comes to, if a Richie doesn't pitch up for whatever reason or there's challenges, that they have somebody within the club structure. So it's definitely something from the union side that we will encourage, that we're going to focus on. And I think that's our goal this year, to at least have a standby referee at every club, which means we have 100 new referees.
Yeah, how does that work? I mean, once you obviously need to first qualify as a referee, but then that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be working every weekend. You work when you're called on.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the idea of the standby referee is to get the necessary qualification, to get the necessary training, and I think it's about a lot of the guys are still involved at the club, but if needed, it's basically from the union side we can appoint, because we know, Joe Bloggs is at a club, we can basically do the appointment from the union side. So it's just making sure that the games can take place on a Saturday. I think one of the challenges that we have is that if a game is postponed, it means added an extra cost to a club. But if there's a standby referee and he has done the necessary training, then from the union side we can appoint.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be working every Saturday.
Yeah.
It's only when he's called upon.
Yeah, but it's kind of the thing anybody should be doing anyways. Get your referees qualified. If you're not playing rugby, then why not referee?
No, definitely. I think, JP, one of the other advantages is that the laws have changed, certain new rules coming in. It also helps the club. It's good to have on a practice evening somebody that has an understanding in terms of the rules. So from a club perspective, it makes sense to have somebody there that has a bit more understanding, because everybody has their own interpretations. But I think it's more about knowing what the rules are.
Because I think also, if you look at other sport codes, there are many different ways to assist at a club. Sometimes it's helping at the gate, sometimes it's doing the paperwork on the day, the scoring, or becoming in other sports, maybe an umpire or a judge. It's the same thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, running a club is I wouldn't say it's not as easy, but it requires a lot of support and help. Those days of one person running and controlling the club is gone. Yeah. I think there's a lot of avenues in terms of assistance, whether it's administrative, whether it's coaching, whether it's refereeing, whether it's the social aspect. So I think, again, it's about the club identifying the needs and, again, looking at in terms of how people fit in.
I think it's great. I love the fact, and of course we look forward, like we do with women's rugby, we look forward to profiling clubs' referees. So folks, if you're watching the show right now and you are at a club, sign up, become a referee, and we'll make you famous. We'll put you on TV. Let's take a look at some of the friendly results then that came in over the weekend. Faizel, you're going to love these results. Temperance and Cities played against Retreat. 5-5. Gordons Bay Pioneers, it was a win for Pioneers, 19 points to 0. False Bay with a win over Helderberg. Scottsdene, 29-27 over Strand. SK Warmers went down to Primrose, 29 points to 7. And then Lamotte Wanderers, well, they scored a 10-point win over Stelkor Blakes with a win over Morningstar. And then it was St. George's, 20 points to 0 over Strand United. And Busy Bees, well, just 2 points over Laguna, while Gardens drew with Blue Jets. Noordlikers, 22-17 over Atlantis. And Violets with a 19-11 win over Elsie's. Faizel, let's take a look at some of those results quickly. Temperance and Cities against Retreat, very even game, 5-all.
No, definitely. I mean, looking at all the results, you can see it's a lot closer in terms of the margins and that. And I think it's basically showcasing in terms of, you know, the season's about to start. Again, less than 2.5 weeks. I think the combinations now is looking at getting ready for matches. You know, we've tried everything our last couple of weeks, so now it's basically focused on the first league game. So definitely, you know, the results are very close in that day.
Scottsdene bounced back a little bit here after their match against Hands and Hearts, beating Strand 29-7, 2 points margin there. Do you think that they're going to start getting the rust out of the system and they're starting to get ready for the season now?
No, definitely. I think, you know, Scottsdene's it's a great club, great team in that day. And I think, again, you know, I think that loss against Hands and Hearts sort of, you know, gave a bit more focus in terms of what needs to happen, what needs to be in place. So for them to, you know, to win or to beat Strand United, it's a great achievement. And I think it's a great, you know, it's a great result for them.
One of the matches that jumps out for me that was a friendly was Busy Bees against Laguna. That's an old rivalry, and Busy Bees taking a 2-point win there over Laguna. They'll be very happy, Alfred and the guys, with bragging rights.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think also from Laguna's side, it's a great result for them. You know, Busy Bees being Super League B. Like I said, less than 2 weeks ago, before, you know, the combinations are there. And I think from Laguna's side, you know, they've always been a great team. And I think for them, you know, they always started a little bit late in that there. I mean, when I also played for Laguna a couple of games as well. So, you know, I mean, I know, you know, the setup and the type of rugby that they play and that there. So I think overall it was a very good result for them.
Let's take a look at some of the other results that came in over the weekend. Durwell with a 33-5 win over Cales River. Hamilton's beat Tygerberg 43 points to 12. Belleville went down to Lunga 7 points to 5. Rocklands with a win over Silvertree. Unimore 25-19 over Brackenfell, and Hamadias with a 5-point win over Rangers. Maisi Pumaleli went down to UCT, and then Albions with a they went down to Paarl. Although that might have been considered a Super League A team against a Super League C team. Where's Albions playing at the moment, Hazel?
So yeah, Albions I think is in Super League C.
Yeah.
So I mean for them, like I said,
Paarl,
again,
is Paarl still in Super League A?
Paarl,
not sure. Yes,
Paarl still in Super League A and that there. So look,
quite a bit of a mismatch there, but a lot of fun anyway.
Yeah, I think it's always a derby out in Paarl and that there, and I think from Albion's side it's a good tester for them. I think Mr. Kermis and, you know, the guys in the club and that they're doing a lot of hard work in that there. So I think for them it's just an understanding in terms of what they need to do and gives them a little more guidance in terms of, you know, they're a club that is, you know, is fighting and hoping for promotion and that there. So it's a nice sort of you know, assessment as to where they are.
Let's take a look at some of the other results. Evergreens, this is staying in the Paarl area. Evergreens played against Lower Paarl, and then Hamlets with a win over Hands and Hearts. Franschhoek 33-28 over All Saints, and a good result for Athby against Delft. And then Belha went down narrowly to Collegians. And then, folks, also we'll take a look at your friendly fixtures in a second. That's coming up now. But Faizel, we're also starting to see a little bit of head-to-head clashes there in the Super League A teams. They're starting to test each other a little bit now.
No, definitely. I think, again, closer we come to the start of the season, you can see a lot of the stronger teams. The results are going to be a lot more tight, a lot more, you know, basically the guys also don't want to reveal their cards in terms of players and stuff. So it's going to be a nice 2 weeks before the season starts.
We're almost there now. We're 2 weeks away. Let's look at the fixtures coming up then this weekend. Also friendly fixtures. Elsies Rafira are going to be up against Collegians. Unimil and UCT. Hamadias and Primrose. Masi Pumaleli take on Retreat, while Manenberg Rangers travel to Morningstar. Busy Bees travel to Hamlets, and Violets travel to Collegians, while Temperance and Cities are going to be hosting Young Gardens. Noordlikers hosting Lower Paarl. And then Scottsdene up against Eerste Rivier. SK Warmers and Rangers. Paneel Villages and Blakes. Bishop Lathers and Perseverance and Rocklands are hosting Genadendal. Lamont Wanderers and Paarl, while in Super League A we see False Bay clashing with Brackenfell. Kraaifontein take on Visantacral and Paarl, while another derby there as they travel to Franschhoek. Meanwhile, Kuilsriver will be hosting Belleville, Atlantis will be holding Police, Excelsior travel to Whistling Wheels, and Young Standards travel to Blue Stars United, while Stelkor will be hosting Simondium. Peninsula are up against Silvertree, and Young Peoples against Paarl Rangers, while Kylemore travel to Vineyards. Faizel, a lot of exciting fixtures then coming up. This is what we're looking forward to now. The Gees is there. We are days away from having the start of Super League, I don't even know what season, 2022.
Yeah. No, I think it's the reality is kicking in now. So, everybody's excited. I think if you look at the fixtures, you can see the numbers of increasing in terms of the amount of games that have been played. So I think for us, the reality is there. The season is less than 2.5 weeks. Super
exciting. Faizel, we'll leave it at that. We say thanks for joining us. We'll catch you again next week on, I don't know, the province segment.
No, thanks, JP, and thank you, listeners, and good luck to all the teams this weekend.
Yeah, very exciting. There we go, folks. Well, we'll leave it at that, and you now have it. A lot of exciting fixtures coming up. Good results from clubs. More than 60 teams took to the field last week. We will see you again next week, same time, same place. Keep a lookout for our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV, as we keep letting you know what the latest results and fixtures are. See you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.